Hello everyone, welcome to another day in Shroud of the Avatar. Now today I thought I would do a video designed for new players. It's basically what to do on your first day when you leave the starting areas, because you'll need to unlock some abilities like the combat deck and the pre-attack, so you can turn off auto attack. You've been fighting at the present moment with your auto attack on, so whatever weapon you've been using, it's just been automatically attacking, and that can use up a lot of focus in the game. So sometimes it's a good idea to turn it off. So that's one of the things we're going to be learning, and the other one is to get our utility bar. So then we'll have a utility bar and a combat deck. So those are the first things that we need to do. So we're going to go and do that now. And we need to talk to combat trainer in the game. So just talk to him, and we'll need to use, I will need to uncover these areas here, which I normally cover up because sometimes there's player chat. So down here we can actually chat to the trainer. Just bring them up again. There we go. And then go advanced techniques. And down here we can learn pre-attack. And you just say yes. It's quite handy because not only does it give us free attack, but he also gives us 200 gold. Deck building, and say yes. That will give you the ability to create further decks later in the game. But again, why the reason to do it now is because you get 200 gold. And if you haven't done this in the quests, you can always unlock the utility bar, which is one of the quests normally in the starting zone. If you haven't done it, you can just unlock it again. You can only do them once, so you only need to do them once. But now what we've actually unlocked is, just send me up here, just seeing if there's a training dummy, but I can't see one. But if we go out and see if we can find something to do some combat with. Don't know if we can because it's not easy. Let's get into all attack. I'll tell you what, I know we can. So your auto attack, you're just constantly attacking. Now, because you've learnt the auto attack, what you can actually do is hit T key, and the auto attack is now disabled. So now you can choose when you attack. So again, we can just use this one down here as much as we like. And if you hold down the button, you can also do further attacks. And then if you want to turn it on again, just hit T again, and you'll be auto attacking. So that's what the auto attack does. Now at this point, as a new player, it probably doesn't make any difference, but later on you'll be needing to actually conserve or control how much experience points we're actually using in the game. Now the character I've just killed is actually one that it's not a bad idea to kill because it's actually in a quest somewhere. So now the other thing that we unlocked was the utility bar. As you can see down here, we've got a bar now with a spade. If we go into combat, we get the bar with the sword which we had before, which is your combat bar. And if we bring up our skills, you can put down in the utility bar anything that is not of a combat nature. So we can put the light down there, which now means we can remove the light from up there because we can use it in the utility bar. You can see when we're in combat we can't use certain glyphs down here, so those ones would have to leave at the top. Thought I would just fill out the bar a little bit more. See what else we've got. I don't know what this character started with. Doesn't have too much that you can put down there. That'll do to start off with. As I say, when you start you're not going to have many skills, so the other thing that you did unlock that you don't need to worry about in the first few days at least questing, because you'll need to get some more skills before it's worth doing, is your combat deck. I've got the key for that, so I'll go in, which is basically this one, which I have got a video on how to create combat decks, but if you are a new character it's not for you at this present moment in time, but you can actually create combat decks, different decks and different ways, styles of fighting. But at the moment, as I say, we haven't got enough even to fill out the bottom bar, so I would say the first few days of actually in the game not to worry about combat decks. Auto attack is whether you feel it's necessary to change, switch on or switch off auto attack. Now, one of the first places you should be able to survive as a new player, and so we can get some experience and some money, is to go into the Soul Town catacombs. Here we are, down in the catacombs. Now, this character actually started without the light spell, so it's one that you should get before really coming into these areas. So what we're going to do is we're going to come up against some skeletons and such like. Now these don't do a lot of damage, so you should find that you can actually take them on. You can notice that these little bars are red, going red. Now the more they're red, the more focus you're actually using. So, and when they're dark, it means that you can't cast them. You would have been stunned, or in this case we've run out of focus. But with auto attack on, we can still attack. So, but this is the heat system in the game, which again, you get a clearer description of what it is inside the deck building video, which I will put a link in the description. So now we've got some thing there, and let's do something else. Play. Okay. So let's carry on. Let's bring up our light so you can see for a little more. The more you train in a skill, the longer it will last for. So let me just turn all these off. A lot of these were from a previous character, and I will show you them as they improve in the game. So we need to come out of combat, and you'll notice that we're not recovering very fast. So if we come out of combat, you'll notice now that we start to recover at a reasonable speed. It's best to wait until we recover before we go any further into the combat. So I'll have a do is we'll have a quick look around. So there's nice little skeletons in there as we recover. Now later on in the game we'll be getting some food to help us recover quicker. Now we've got some mining nodes here, so I'm going to mine these. At the moment everything in the game we're just going to be harvesting to sell, and we've just been interrupted by somebody. I'm trying to think who it is. Can't see anybody. Oh, there he is. And he's an archer. Now these can be rather fun if you're doing swords, because they do love running around. So you probably might have to chase them down a bit. They do love running around. As you can see, we're now run out of focus, so we'll last a couple of... Of course we've got the auto attack on, so I'm actually going to turn it off. Combat without it, so I'm going to hold down the mouse and then let go. It makes a slightly stronger attack if it hits, which as we get better it will start hitting. This uses very little focus. Now we'll use our special abilities. You can see. This one's taking a while to kill, but they don't do a lot of damage, as you can see down here. Now it's a bit dark. Nope, seem to have enough light spell. Now we're learning all the time. Once we've killed this particular person, down to 1. There we go. We've got him down. Let's come out of combat. Let's wait for a little while and bring on some light. And we can loot him. Over here you'll see that we've gained in strength. Strength is basically how much you can carry in the game. We've gained a level in health, which is the red bar at the top. That'll increase that one. Bladed combat, we're getting better with our swords, so our negative damage is slowly going down, and the special abilities that we're learning, we're slowly getting better at using them, so they're becoming stronger. So, as I say, when you're actually in the game you're always learning, unless you've not got the skills with the training tab up. At the moment, you've got to be cautious on what you're training, but you don't have to worry too much about it, not on your first day or so. Now you do have a weight capacity. I can carry 92, and that was down to that strength one we were talking about. The more we train in that, the more we're going to be able to carry. So it's got a few vases down here. Now if you want another pickaxe, you can always pick up the pickaxe. If your pickaxe breaks down here, you can always pick up another pickaxe. At this point you want to be just a little bit more careful, because they start, the further you go into the dungeon, the more challenging it can get. As I say, they're not too hard, but sometimes you might find that you might get 2 or 3 together, and that might be just a bit too much for you. Yeah, we've got a mage behind us now. I'll turn off auto attack. This is confidently disabled, because it looks like you can only do the manual attack when auto attack is turned off. As you can see, they love running around. This is where if you're an archer it's a lot easier. I've got a thug coming in now, so we now might need to just see if we can get somebody and then withdraw. That Consider withdrawing now. Oh, it's really awkward when it's dark, isn't it? The thug's still coming. After a period of time they will actually reset themselves, he says. The thug reset himself. Oh good. At least we got one of them. And as you can see, the further you go in, the slightly harder it will get, but after a while you will actually, as you train up these abilities, it will be easier and quicker to kill them. And the other thing is we need to see if we can get some weapons and some extra defensive armour. So we'll probably see if we can pick up a bit of food as well, just to help us. But as I say, you shouldn't die in this area if you're cautious. What we'll do is we'll see if we can just pull one of these out. One going to come out. Wizard. Good. And so they love running around. That's why normally I will. What I do with my character who uses two swords. Dual wield swords, is I do have a ranged deck on him. We've just learnt, we've just levelled up in another skill up here. So as you can see, I'm just mixing my thingies up because I don't want to use too much of my focus, so it's just controlling the focus at the moment. Let me say down here you shouldn't have to worry about thingy. And there we go. A few more, and he's down. Now they always leave. Anybody basically in the game has got two legs. Drops gold. So, with a rough explanation. Now our spell has gone out, so we will cast that again. Now each time it's slowly gaining in levels, the time goes up. If we look at this one here, whilst we're just waiting for our focus to come up, we can see that it always tells you what's 10 levels ahead. So here we can see that at the moment we've got a duration of 2 minutes and 42 seconds. Now when we get to level 27, it would have extended the amount of time on this ability to 4 minutes and 42. If we have a look at some of the others, normally what happens is the actual physical damage. So on the thrust here at the moment we're doing between 2 and 7. And 10 levels ahead, at level 45, we'll be doing 3 and 9 extra damage. And that's extra damage on top of what the weapon gives. So you see how you learn through the game, whatever you're training. No, not unless they've respawned, they should only be. That looks like we've got. There was a thug somewhere. These are crafting tables which you could use in the game. There are some notes if you want to read them, some books if you want to take them and read them. Lots of stuff in the game. Let's see if we can draw somebody else out. We've got a thug here. Let's see if we can just surprise him. So we're getting slightly better at using our sword. Now they've got defensive abilities and we've just levelled up in this ability, so we're getting just slightly better at using it. As I say, a bit of time to get the abilities up, but just a matter of time. There we go, got a good attacking on that one. It's actually out of focus again, and just levelled another one up on one of these abilities. Every time we're doing a strike like this, we are improving our skills up here. You can see the little green bars going up a little bit on each ability. To actually train up these abilities, you have to use the ability. But there are some passive ones, like these grey ones here, which basically are always training when you're doing an action. That's another thing way up the way. A rusty hammer and some honey up him. Whilst we're recovering again, oh, somebody just up here, I can see. See that our carrying ability is getting close. So I'm going to have to see if we can get some more abilities to learn. Looking for a particular ability. Can't remember which tree it was under. That's that one there. That will help our focus to grow. But we need to get the light up to level 20. Because when you're training or when you want to buy in trees, you have to get the first one to 20 before you can buy these, and then these sort of level. You have to get each of these to level 40 as you go down. So it's now being attacked. So I've got an archer over here. Also got somebody in there. So that's okay. Again. So it's just a bit more. So it's getting a little bit better and more efficient at fighting. Just gained another ability. And we do need to increase our focus training, which is an ability we're going to have to buy. So as you can see, just a matter of time, and there we go, another one there. And we've got another one down. So our ability is slowly growing here. The light now lasts a few seconds longer. Now what we'll do is we'll start to head out. Probably some of the characters might have respawned behind us. We don't want to get caught short. So here we go. So after a certain amount of time they will respawn. So they're always just leaving the auto attack on, so you can see how that works. See how we're slowly improving. See this one over here, this one up, trained a little bit more in strength, which now means we can carry a little bit more. As you can see, you're not going to die down here, not unless you get too many of them attacking you all at once. So basically, you can sit there. But as I say, because we didn't use these ones here in that combat, means we didn't learn anything on them. But as you can see, our bladed is nearly up another level. Our health did go up one, so our strength also went up. This is mining, and then that's our light spell. So let's just head back up a bit further, and we'll take this bit of ore. How's our character doing? 62 out of 94. See if we take that, you can see it's now 63, but I think that's enough for this particular bit of session. So now we've got a load of loot in our stuff. We're now going to head out and find somewhere to sell all the stuff we have to have in here. Or you do have little guidebooks on the things we released as well to read through. But we're going to sell some of this and we're going to make a bit of money, and we're going to decide what we're going to do with the money. Here we are, back on the overworld. It's night when we went in, it's daytime now, so watch is a bit of a pain in the neck, but as I say, now what we're going to do is going to go back to the town. Now these people here are player owned shops, so we'll look at some of those a little later, but some of them buy goods but not many. So for all the NPC characters will tend to buy goods, so we're just going to talk to Anna here. Click on buy. If you're an archer you could buy some arrows here. Seems we're not an archer. Go sell from inventory. Now the grey stuff you can't sell because it's actually based on a quest. Once you've read these books, no reason not to sell them, because they are taking up 3 weight in your bag. The letter is good to sell. The arrows are not worth selling because they're worth 0, so but some other players might buy those. I've got the ore here, which we picked up. Got some staffs, some daggers, some bows, and I wouldn't sell a silver necklace if you want to complete the quest. And as you can see, we've got 151 gold, so we had 871 before, that's given us 1022. Now we're going to have a look at what we've got, what abilities. Now you've got, up in this tree here you'll see the skills. You've got your adventuring and you've got crafting. The crafting side you don't have to worry too much about at the moment, not unless you're specialising in crafting. So at the moment we need to see what levels we can improve on. We need to get these to 40 before we could learn these ones. Now we could learn bladed speed, which would increase our attack speed. So the one I'd like to get, or 2 I'd like to get. One is in the sun tree, but we've got to cast a lot more light before we can get the enlightenment, which will help our focus grow. The other thing we need to do is actually, if you haven't got it in your tree already, because it depends on the type of character you start out as. So if you're a bow person who started with a bow, I believe you get focus, but you get different skills according to how you start the game. So we really need to go and learn this one. So we're going to go back to the combat trainer we went to before, and we're just going to train, and then we're going to come down to the focus, and then we're just going to click the thingy. That cost us 100, but that's a passive skill, so you know it's a passive skill because it doesn't cost any focus to use. So like this one here, you can see that there is a focus cost. So but this one here, which is a passive skill, doesn't use any focus, so it means you will gain, each time you're using one of these builds, one of these skills, this will be training up as well and drawing from your pool. but we don't want to train too much because we don't have a lot of experience ball down here. It will get better as we go through the game. So, because the amount of XP you actually gain is the amount of XP it takes you to kill somebody against, of course, what they give you. So it seems we're having to use a lot of strikes and a lot of things at the moment because we're not so skilled. We're probably using up some XP, in the pool, but we are getting better at our sword fighting. Then you'll get to the tipping point where it'll even out, and then after a while you'll be losing less focus to kill them. So then you'll be gaining XP into the pool, and that's what you need to try and do throughout the whole of the game. So now what we might want to do is having a look to see if we can find any better armour and weapons. So just going to have a look at the NPC first. Oh no, she's a crafting NPC, so I'm not going to have anything on her. Can't remember what this one was. Oh, he's a trainer, crafting trainer. Oh, there's one in here. Is there one in this one, or is it? Yeah. Let's see what he carries on him. Click buy. Oh, now he's got some relatively cheap armour. So we've pretty much got everything. We haven't got a great deal of money. We need to get a little bit better defending ourselves. It seems we're a swords person. Chainmail is probably not the best. Now each armour has a positive and negative effects. Chainmail gives you dodge resistance and damage resistance. Plate gives you more damage resistance, but plate also is the worst if you want to use any kind of magic spells in the game. And then if you want to use magic, then you need to be using cloth. So what we'll do is, we've got a great deal, so we'll look at putting one of the cheaper armour bits on us, and we only want to buy one of them. So there we go, just bought some gloves. And all we need to do is drag them over there. Now the actual gloves you buy, there are 0 value, so you can't actually sell them to the player. So you can destroy them, or you can craft them down to get something. So that's cloth gloves. So I can come in here to this table here. There's the crafting station. Then see our gloves here. I'm just going to put them up there. They're valued at 0. But now when we put it up there, we can actually salvage them. So now we've actually salvaged them. You can see that we've got some scrap here, which is now valued at 4. And we can take them, close down the window, and we can go to the merchant over here. We can now sell the items to him. Sell them in, we couldn't sell them the gloves, but now we can sell them the scrap. Get 4 gold back. So now you can see how you can make money out of scrapping items if they have a 0 value. So now we've got a slightly better pair of gloves, which the gloves actually give us a little bit more damage resistance, so that means we should be able to take on a bit more damage. Not a great deal more, but slowly getting our armour set. So we go back down again. And have a look and see how the other abilities that we've learnt work. Right, here we are back down. So we use the light spell. We've got that, if you remember me speaking before, to get the enlightenment. We've got to get that one up to level 20, so we want to use it as much as we can. And we want to improve it. So if you look up here, we've got 187 focus, because one of the abilities we're going to train in. There's a skeleton there, but not today. One of the abilities we're going to learn is going to increase the amount of focus that we get. That was one of the last ones we bought, which once we go into combat. See, we've just learnt a bit more on mining here. Here's an archer. Let's attack the archer. Well, blade's just getting a little bit better. Slowly fighting our way through him. Doing a couple of these, we don't want to expend too much focus. That's why I say it's working between the two. Slowly getting better. Go. It's now died. Just want to see how that is the long button. Oh, we nearly got a level on it. I'm just going to track that on the HUD. Now, if you want to keep it at the top and actually pin it down so we can actually see those two there, we're mostly interested in. So we've got 5 gold, a couple of arrows, and a shoddy bow. The arrows, as I say, you can't sell them to you can sell them to other players. Unfortunately, they have no value in the game. So what I would use, as I say, is use one slot in your bank box. And once you can find a player who's playing an archer, just offer to sell them to him for a small amount of gold. And be turning it back into gold. And be cautious we don't draw too much. Not down here yet. Oh, there he goes. He's hiding in the corner. Bring up a bit of light. Go, start attacking it. Now we've actually gained a level in our focus, which now means that this bar here is now a bit bigger. So we now have more focus, which means we can stay longer in the fight and use a lot more special abilities. So you can see why that ability is important to learn. The ones that are important to learn at the beginning of the game. We've got 3 going on here, so let's see if we can get this archer down. And we're actually going to withdraw because we don't want to die. If you die in the game, you will lose some of your experience points. So best to withdraw. At the level you are, it's not a great problem because you won't lose too much. How much have we got up there? I think we can just take on one wizard. Now most wizards just have cloth armour, so they're normally a bit easier. So we've just learnt another one. Focus, the amount of focus we're getting, we're now up to 19 rolls of it. So which means we'll be able to use more abilities as we get more focus. This focus is used when you're doing an action, of course. Once it's expended, of course, then you have to wait for it to regenerate. Quite a lot of that one, but a key somewhere else in the key to somewhere, a wand, a star, some gold and some regents, so that was a nice little ball. Slowly move back whilst we're recovering. There you go, if we get more focus. There's the corpse, the archer, we might as well go and loot that. Gold, another bow and some arrows. Let's see, let's go and take on the thug in this room. The thugs will quite happily sit there for you, so you don't have to chase them down. So, slowly getting stronger. As you can see, they're all slowly starting to go up. Except these ones, because we're not using them, not unless we actually use them. You can see that they go up. Just getting a level in strength. And our bladed combat is getting slightly better. Just gained a level in our focus, so now it's added 120 in our focus. See, your character is slowly getting better the more combat you do, which means you'll be able to stay in fights for a little bit longer. We came in that way, so let's go through this door here. Otherwise we better let ourselves recover a little bit more. If you actually stand around and do nothing, we'll get a little stillness bonus, which means that basically these will regenerate just that little bit faster, like sitting down and resting. Let's have a look around. If you did want to stay down here a little bit longer, you could use this one here. If you wanted to spend longer down here. We haven't got any swords. If you've got things like swords, you can scrap them on this table. See if there's a carpentry bench anywhere. Cooking, alchemy. I'll look in the other room. And you can see if there is a carpentry one somewhere. Oh, got some respawn behind us here, so oh dear, that's a lot of them. Just wondering which way I'm going now. As you can see, we're slowly getting a bit better. So our health is going to deteriorate a little bit more. Another one's coming, so now it's time to probably call it a day and withdraw back. Cover our exits, make certain we're not going to get too many back here as well. Let's have another archer back here. Let's see if we can find a place to recover. There we go. Hasn't respawned yet. Here comes the archer with the light on the subject. Another level gone in it. Now most of our hits are doing more damage as well than when we first came down here. So just wait for the focus to come up and use one of the abilities. So see, always learning. We've just learned another one in focus. And now we've got a total of 121. Second at combat. Those abilities. Focus. There we go. One more strike. No. Maybe another one. There it goes. Yeah, let's recover a bit. A bit of copper over here. Let's see what we've got on us. 905 gold. We're only at 51, so we can stay down here a little bit longer. 52. Remember that they're dropping gold as well. We need to try and get some more better armour. So all of that helps, of course, your character. And there isn't a carpentry bench in here, which is a bit of a business. You need to go to carpentry bench if you want to salvage the bows and things like that. And here's that group again. Let's see if we can take these on. Ability trained, so that's going to be a lot more better to use. And our blade ability just went up. That means our sword is getting more efficient. Our chances of hitting are going up. Damage rate is going up. Now our health is coming down. Ideally it'd be nice. Oh no, we just got another one. Again we need to draw from those arrows at least. I've got that one, good. Oops. Getting myself turned round. A bit of light on. What was the light that I put on? There we go. You should reset. It's not going to reset. It's strange how some of them come a long distance and others don't normally climb ladders. So worst case scenario, if you do need to get back to a safe point, choose a bit of health. A bit of light. So what we'll do is we'll go out and we'll sell our bits of our wares again. Actually just out up on the map. It's actually should be becoming dusk in the game. Basically 1 hour in the game is a day in the Novian world. So just have a look at some of these players. Let's see what they're selling. As you can see, they do sell better armours and things like this, but as I say, you can wait to see if you can buy some of these kind of weapons or armour. So 900. Let's just put them in price. Sometimes these things are goodly priced and sometimes they're not. So is there anything of interest on there? Augmented leather gloves, cloth gloves, sorry. Got some more leather stuff here, which is a bit stronger than cloth, but of course not as good as chainmail. As you can see, there's quite a lot of different types of armour. The +1 means that they're slightly a bit better. It doesn't have any plus, but you can get high levels. That's normally the plus is they're actually got extra abilities to their armour set. As you can see, they want 1,000 and we haven't quite got enough yet. But that's actually human player, and it's not to say they've got good deals on them, but some do. So what we're going to do, I'm going to sell our wares again. Sorry, I want to click the buy, and we go sell from thingy, and we just put pretty much everything that we can sell across, except the arrows because they're worth 0 value. So you won't sell a silver necklace. You could sell a Cancun key, but you might want to use that a little bit later. Then another 100 gold. So now, to make certain that you can carry the most in the game, if you find the banker in the game, which in Soul Town is here. Now, the bank box will be rather bare, and you might not have many slots, because I've used this account quite a few times and reset it, and I've got an account slightly more bank slots, so that's how many bank slots you've got, that's how many you've used. Yours will probably be empty when you start. So it's just that with the bank. You can access the bank anywhere, but I would have to go to Crossroads to get any of this stuff out of the bank. So if you remember before, we were carrying arrows which are now nearly 1 weight. So we don't want to carry the weight round. So we can put them in our bank. So now what we can do is if we're not doing the quests, you can put your quest items in the bank. Keep the key. And we've got to sell some stuff there. So we've got 3 maps for some reason of Solace Bridge. I'm just going to put them in the bank. Quincy's broken sword. You'll probably only have 1 of these items. Some torches which are you could have in another hand. And so we only want to carry what we need to carry. So you can put all the new player handbook, all of that in the bank. So you're freeing up your. I mean, if you're not doing crafting, you could even unequip the tools and put them in the bank. But they don't weigh a lot. So plus you might want them, and if you put them in the bank, you've got to know what bank you put them into. You might have to walk back. So just if we have a look at that one character sheet, we're now only carrying a weight of 22, where before, that would have been probably up to about 30. So I've offloaded a load of stuff. So those are quite a few things that you can do in your first day in Shroud of the Avatar. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, you click on the subscribe button, you'll get to know when more of my content comes out. Also, please do feel free to leave any comments, and thank you for watching.